Everybody, welcome back. It's Egg and Baby in the morning, right, baby? I'm optimistic, perhaps naively so, but I'm optimistic we will get a little baby sleep time. Little baby sleep time. You think so, baby? She woke up a little early. Not much earlier than usual. She up a little early this morning. She's doing, like, she sleeps in the most relaxed way you could ever imagine. Like, she sleeps like a cool kid sleeps in a 1980s, like, high school movie where, you know, they're on they're poolside on, like, a lounger. They put their arms behind their head and they're sipping on, like, a fresh cherry cola out of a plastic straw, because in the 80s, you know, we didn't know any better. And by we, I mean the people who were alive then. I was, you know, from the age of 0 to 1 year and a half, I didn't have that much influence on the world, to be quite honest with you. Hold on, that's a re-up key. So I think we suck this up just because we can. I'm not thrilled with, you know, the payout there. It's not immediately useful, but there is bookworm potential. You know, long term, there's something to be said about it. She's lounging, man. I don't know if it's gonna last, but we are in, like, by baby standards, we're at threat level midnight. There are some little teeth coming in. Teething is like the nightmare scenario. I would say, well, I mean, it's like, also, if they didn't teeth, you would be like, what the heck's going on? But, I would say after, like, the newborn phase, it's the #1 thing that new parents are like, oh, careful. Teething is where they get, like, real ornery. I'm hoping that we have a baby that bucks the trend, but we'll see. I mean, it's not your fault either way, sweetie. We've all been through it, one way or the other. And again, the thing I say, I stand by this. Whenever, you know, someone tries to sell me on, like, how, you know, hard something is when it comes to parenting, don't get me wrong, it's a lot of work. But I always think of, you know, the billions of idiots who have successfully accomplished it, and then I just remember, like, all you gotta do is, you know, do a little bit better than that. You'll be fine. It's not to say, you know, people haven't made mistakes when it comes to raising their kids, but, you know, it's all you gotta do is have a commitment and, you know, some competence, and then I think, you know, the first step is the confidence that comes from knowing that, you know, human beings have been doing this for billions of years. So we got more advantages now than in any other point in human history, I think. Right, baby? Anyway, apart from that, it's a chill day, man. Nothing going on. They even got the boat unstuck from the Suez Canal. It is like, it's a negative for memes, because the memes were really popping, but, you know, it's probably a positive. I guess, like, 12% of global trade goes through the Suez Canal or something, so, you know, that's the... If you're waiting on something from, like, you know, Play Asia or something like that, maybe you got a Monster Hunter Rise amiibo coming to you, then, you know, you should be stoked. Hey, baby. You having a good morning, baby? What's not to like? You had your favorite breakfast. Milk. Oh, good. You've had a couple of diaper changes. Etc., etc. You should be chilling. Maybe she's like, yeah, I'm trying to, but it's like 9 in the morning and you're yelling. So I wanted to do this whole floor to get, like, a, I don't know, maybe a red heart and be able to go to the curse room, but I still think about the possibility of that being reasonable for us, but with no red hearts, which is very unlikely, by the way. But with no red hearts, I think we're kind of stuck. I think we're stuck right now. Now, I will admit, I kind of wish that I did it now, because we would be on 1 red heart, and then we could go to that boss trap room. We could probably still go to the boss trap room, but going to it early might have been a little bit more advantageous. That's another easy item for us. Just suck it up. And we're very lucky. We got damage and rate of fire, so I would say no matter what, this floor has kind of been a win. Unless we literally die, but that's less related to the seed, more related to the man doing the deeds here. But yeah, it's a very low-key sort of day for me. I got nothing else going on at the time being. Trying to, like, minimize... Let me put it this way. I want to have, like, a pretty low-key week of streams before Repentance, just because I know, like, Repentance, we're not going to be going that hard, as said, but, like... Still, you want to leave that space, you know? You don't want to show up, like, you know, battered and bruised at the start of a new marathon, you know? You want to show up well-rested, carb-loaded, and so on and so forth. So, I don't even know what we're going to play today. I got no clue, quite frankly. It beats me. Either way, I'm excited. We'll see. We've been having good times on stream this week. Yesterday... It was like all brand new stuff. I did a March Madness, what's the best sandwich on earth bracket. I'm not going to spoil that for you. You can watch the video for yourself when it comes out, or the VOD on Twitch. Either one is fine. Hey, Vivi. Hey, my bubby baby. My bubby baby. I have to think. 1 bomb for a Spirit Heart and a Scent is not bad. But if we're not gonna take damage, I'd rather use the bomb to get enough money to possibly make the shop worthwhile, although we would still need a key. You know, there's no, like, perfect solution here yet. Don't take that. This hurts. Pardon? You were not in the middle when you pulled that. You were not in the middle. I call shenanigans. Okay. It's alright. Our speed is not that good. We can't be too upset about this. You know, we're doing as best as we can, I think. That was reasonably good. Unfortunately, that's also not that amazing of an item, so we will just suck it up here. Baby. Baby, oh no. Okay, baby, once we... I mean, I know how this sounds. Once we finish with this floor... Baby, we will figure out what ails you. I don't quite know what it is yet, but we'll find out, okay? No, sweetie. It's okay. You got your toy, you got your little free Shavakadu, also known as Yay Dude. Yeah, you got Yay Dude. This is a big whiff. This is not a good room for us. We could possibly buy a bomb and get, you know, it'll pay for itself for sure, but I don't know if it's high value. This is another huge whiff, quite frankly. I don't support this. I will be leaving this room, and may God have mercy on your soul, is the way I look at this right now. Admittedly, if we really... Frog likes to hop, hop, hop. He jumps in the water. Doogity-doogity-doog. Splish. And you know what comes next? At first, he says splish. Following this, a secondary sound. You would expect splish? Wrong. Splash! How can I be expected to know which kind of sounds are splishes and which ones are splashes? It's incoherent. It doesn't make sense. Look, number 1 reaction for a baby, happiness. That's what you want to see. Number 2, befuddlement. Because if she's confused, that takes a lot of baby brain power. And that's what we're getting right now, is that she's like, when did my father become Vermont Congressman Bernie Sanders? I'm going to be honest, I don't know whether Bernie Sanders is a congressman or a senator. America, can I tell you something? From the rest of the world, we don't really know the difference for the most part. I know that, there's like 2 senators per state. And then there's like a junior senator, but a junior senator I think is just the younger of the 2 senators or something. I don't know. And then the House of Representatives are Congress people, and they're based on like the population of a state or something like that, right? Is that correct? It's very complicated. At least from the outsider standpoint. I guess it's like triple layer protection. You know how Green Halls has like triple soothing action? I guess that's like the American government. It has like, you know, triple legislative power as or maybe like 1/3 Okay, well, anyway, sorry, the point is, I don't know. And neither does anybody else. Okay. Baby, that impression, like, stun-locked the baby. That's good stuff. She's now, like... I gotta think on this for a bit. I was crying before because I was bored, but you've presented me with an intellectual quandary. And as a result, I find myself entertained. I'm not gonna say it's not... You know, because I'm sure every country has their own... you know, weirdness in the government. Like, I don't know if this... I mean, I think it's actually... I'm just gonna say... Obviously, I'm biased here. I feel like the Canadian government's a little easier. We almost... well, no, that's not true. Our government is crazy as well. Like, you know, we have, like, the Parliament, which is, I guess, basically kind of like the U.S. Senate. Or I guess it's more like the House of Representatives. I don't know, fully. But then, like, when something passes through Parliament, it has to be ratified by the Governor General, who is the Queen's representative in Canada. Now, it's largely symbolic. I don't know if the Governor General has ever used their executive power to, like, prevent something from going through. I have to imagine that would cause, like, a crisis where we would probably find ourselves no longer being a member of the Commonwealth. Baby. I know, she's like, come on, we were on a good topic and now you're getting boring. But then, like, also, and this is one that a lot of Canadians don't even know, we also have a Senate, but the Senate is not elected. It's, like, appointed by, I don't even know who appoints it. I think, like, the Prime Minister. And then stuff goes through the Senate and it has to get approved in order to become law. In some situations, I don't know how it works, man. I just cash the checks, okay? Why would you walk over that? A form of self-flagellation. Which is why I'm a big fan of this tranquilizer democracy that we invented. If you didn't see that episode, you're missing out. See the episode that many people are calling one of the best episodes released. One wouldn't be so, wouldn't have high expectations for such a late Career Isaac episode, but the O.J. Simpson rant was out of control, you know? Like, it got positive reviews. I haven't read the periodicals yet, but I do believe that it was received relatively positively. Now, I gotta admit, this is a pretty good boss fight when you got the safety scissors. Can I bring something up here? Okay, so I'm left-handed, and I have been left-handed, you know, since I can remember, of course. Left-handed people complain a lot about being left-handed. It's true. Most things, and I hate to blow up our spot here, most things that left-handed people complain about are not really that big of a deal. There's, like, some relative... you know what? I might suck that up. We don't need the speed so much. We could maybe turn it into a more useful stat. That was damage, I think. That's pretty good. And I'll be leaving. Most of this stuff is pretty minor, okay? Like, for example... This is Bookworm. Writing. You know, two things commonly come up. One is when you're in college, you know, if they have those desks that only tilt in one direction, like the desk is attached to the chair. Oftentimes... there's not enough left-handed desks for the amount of left-handed people, so you have to sit in a right-handed desk, which leads to you contorting your body. But most of the time, you're young, you get over it, it doesn't cause any serious long-term spinal damage, right? The other thing with writing is that if you write with a pen or a pencil, when you are left-handed, as you write, your hand smudges the pen or the pencil, and it makes the heel of your left hand, like, all gross, you know? It's not a pleasant feeling, for sure. But it's not that big a deal. Can I tell you what the really big deal is? Left-handed scissors in elementary school simply do not work. All of the budget must be controlled by the right-hand Illuminati. So this run is just absurd now. Because, like, You ever watch, like, if you're left-handed, you'll very much relate to this, I think. We're trying to use these scissors that's basically, like, you know, 2 pieces of gravel that used to be sharp at one point in, like, 1961. And we're trying to cut paper, but the paper just laughs at you as it bends, and it goes like, "You'll never get me. You'll never get me." And then you look over to your right, and you see that the people with the right-handed scissors, they're made by, like, Lockheed Martin. And, like, as soon as they think about cutting, it's like a perfect razor's edge, like, shoom, shoom. It's folded Hattori Hanzo steel, like, 1,000 times. And it says, like, copyright 2014 on it. And you're like, oh my god, it's only 1996. How did that... And then the safety scissors... Even if you manage to get a cut, which you will not, 95% of the time, it always ends up having, like, paper stubble on it. Like, it has, like, frayed edges. It's almost fuzzy. Whereas you can, you know, if you paper cut somebody with a piece of paper you cut with right-handed scissors, they're gonna end up going to the emergency room, minimum. If not, straight to the coroner's office. If you try to paper cut somebody with left-handed paper cut scissors, they're gonna be like, "Ooh, that tickles. Ooh, that's nice. Is that like a weighted blanket or something?" They're gonna be comforted, which is probably not what you're going for. I genuinely, and I don't think it's the bulk of it, but, you know, I've talked before about how, like, you know, and what do I know? Not that much, right? Maybe. But my philosophy kind of on, like, education as an individual is that you naturally tend to gravitate towards the things you're good at intuitively in school. So I read a lot as a youngster. My reading and writing was pretty good. I went to school. Teachers went, "Wow, your reading and writing is really good." I built, like, my self-esteem around that, and I was more likely to pursue that kind of stuff in the future. I went to school. I loved Art Attack. It was my favorite show on TV. Start trying to chop things up with left-handed scissors. Teachers are like, "What the heck is this? This is garbage." And I was like, well, it's the scissors. I don't know what I did there, but I'll take it. And they were like, "Yeah, a likely story, right?" Like, I do wonder if, and I'm not upset by it, but I do wonder if perhaps I missed out on what was once a passion for art as a result of the woeful inadequacy of left-handed scissors in, like, 1st and 2nd grade that led me to think that I wasn't good at art because my teachers were like, this is, like, you know, like a C at best. It's painful, man, to some extent at least. I know what you're thinking. You're like, I've seen you play, like, Pintario or whatever, or Scribble.io, and you're not artistically minded? Well, yeah, because, you know, I stopped my artistic evolution in elementary school as a result of the infrastructure. You're witnessing, you know, where my brain was at when I was, like, 5 or 6 years old. I never put any extra effort into it as a result of the fact that I was just like, I'm not good at it. And I blame the left-handed safety scissors. I do, well, not sincerely, but... It's annoying, man. I actually, and I get it, you know, because... I mean, let me put it this way. I know that, you know, little kids can't be trusted with, like, tools that are actually effective, because, you know, the tools that are effective could also be harmful. And some people out there are just absurd, you know? Like, they forgot what it's like to be a kid. They're like, well, if we don't give our kids, like, pocket knives when they're 6, they'll never learn the power of them. You've seen it? Kids will just, like, they eat everything. They eat everything. Anyway, I forgot what I was talking about. I get you want your kids to feel safe around tools. That's natural, okay? But, like, not when they're, like, in the 1st grade. You could give them a sense of the decorum required and stuff like that, but maybe don't let them have, like, their own 9mm Beretta. Regardless. At the same time, I'm like, the elementary school arts and crafts supplies are just not good. The glue stick is like one of the worst glue delivery methods of all time. Now, I must admit, by the time we were allowed to use the hot glue gun, I did get hot glue all over my hands all the time, and I hated every second of it. I routinely, you know, like, kind of burn my hands with the hot glue. That's not gonna surprise you, but it's true. I can still feel, like, you know, peeling the glue off of my fingers. Baby, you've been very good, by the way. Like, ever since the Bernie Sanders, you know, combo, you stunned for one turn? Baby. Baby. I don't know, should I be using this book? I don't think we got any, like, long-term benefits out of the book yet. Just keep stacking it up. Dude, Void has been pretty great for us. We've gotten all of our tiers upgrades except the Pact, and all of our damage upgrades except the Pact have come from Void. That's crazy. That's amazing. I mean, we're one away now, I think, with the deal with the devil incoming. That's fantastic. Like, the glue stick, though, is horrendous. The glue is, like, sweet. It's like they... And I'm not saying from eating it, I'm just saying based on how sticky it is. But then I thought to myself that I guess that's what glue is like, kind of, to begin with. But it doesn't feel like glue, man. It feels like sugar... honey. I don't know what I'm talking about. He's tapped out. Get him out of there. Get him out of there. All right, so we're Guppy. We got Ma the Void. We got the whole world in our frickin' hands, man. You see, they got that ship on stuck. Oh yeah, I mentioned that earlier. It's a shame, you know, because it was very funny. I'm sure that people... there's probably things about it that weren't funny, and I don't just mean like on an income statement. You know, like. Just probably like perishable goods on some of the ships that like... But that's what I mean, like, when I say if something that has a non-humorous element anywhere in its existence is automatically not funny because there's a subset of, like, the joke that is potentially painful, then we can't laugh at anything. Because every joke has the ability to be taken like that. And again, I can't stress this enough. I'm not one of those guys who's like, you can never joke anymore because people are just crazy. You know, I think you can still tell a lot of jokes. Sometimes I do find myself having to, you know, backpedal on some of them, but, which is funny to me because I'm not really an offensive guy to begin with. I think I don't really toe the line that much, but you gotta recognize that, you know, every joke has the butt of a joke. And I would even go a step further and say that jokes that don't have, like, a butt of their joke are, like, you know, basically built for the elementary school playground. Why did the chicken cross the road? That's not funny. Some chickens that cross the road get hit by cars. Okay, like, again, I understand. That's why I was talking with Justin, and I believe I've said this independently as well. I want to be clear that I'm not a hypocrite. At least in this way. In many other ways, for sure. Cognitive dissonance, you know, running amok. But, if I die in a funny way, I still assent to you laughing about it. Now, I want to add in some caveats there, okay? Maybe keep the jokes out of the purview of my immediate friends and family, you know? Like, I think that would be really rude. Like, they might not see the humor if I die in, like, some kind of, like a peanut butter accident or something like that. They might not see the humor. But within your private circle of friends, as long as you're reading the room appropriately, I do give you my permission. Only if I die in a funny way. The funnier the manner of death, you know, like... I'm trying to think of a good way. Like, if I choke on my toothbrush or something like that, okay? The funnier the manner of death, or for example, if I taser myself in the testicles and then I have a heart attack, and but the funnier the manner of death, the lower the grace period on mourning is. As far as I'm concerned, you could pretty much right from the get-go take some, you know, make some jokes at my expense. And rest assured, if there is an afterlife and I can observe what's happening on planet Earth, if the joke lands, I'll be laughing. If it's kind of, you know, like if it's a joke that doesn't have a punchline, it's just like, I'm glad he's gone, then I'll probably haunt you. And rest assured, I would make it worth my while. However, if you land it, I would be like, you know what? Owned. You got me. Now, if I just die of, like, you know, some kind of undiagnosed, you know, cardiac problem or something like that, I think maybe it would take until, like, 10 years after that until I give my permission, but certainly in a humorous fashion. And I can't believe I found myself on this line of reasoning now. A lot of people leave comments, especially now, and they say things like, hey, NL, you know, like, I'm having my first kid in, you know, June, and I know you just had one recently, like, thanks for all the, you know, advice and just the discourse around parenting. It really helps to, like, demystify it and, you know, et cetera, et cetera. I very much appreciate it, and I want to add something to that, which is, I was watching the news the other day. This is like a week ago. Because I watch the news with the baby sometimes, like, you gotta keep the baby placated, and I've seen, like, every episode of Kitchen Nightmares 5 times now. Sometimes I'm just browsing through cable, and I'm like, it's the news, or, that show with, Mayim Bialik, where she runs, like, a cat cafe, and I just can't do it, okay? I've never seen it. It might be amazing. I just can't bring myself to click the button on it, but, and it was like, tragedy nearly struck at the San Diego Zoo today. A father of a 2-year-old picked up his child and then jumped into the elephant pen. The elephant got very upset, charged the new father, who narrowly managed to escape through the electric fence with his child in tow. And you're like, dude, so here's what I want you to think about is, no matter how hard parenting ends up being for you, at least you are not that guy. What on earth are you thinking, man? It's in, you know, like, well, he jumped, because he gave a statement. He didn't, the difference between a statement and an interview is whether or not you're, you know, in prison when you give it. He gave a statement that was like, I just wanted to get a good photo. And you're like, really? So you took your 2-year-old kid into the electric fenced-in, elephant pen, and then got charged at by one of, you know, nature's largest creatures, just to get a sick frickin' photo, man. That no matter how bad you mess up, it'll be very hard to win the, you know, worst father of all time award, or at least worst father of the year. There's probably long term. I mean, that's not the first time that's happened, so there's probably other examples, but I don't understand, like. You ever feel like you live in a different world sometimes? Now, admittedly, I don't know the consequences of what happened there, but I feel like if... First off, I would never, you know, take my child into the elephant pen. We can just take a photo, you know, on the other side of the fence. That's fine. But secondarily, I feel like if I did that, I would never recover. How so? Well, I definitely I would have some explaining to do to my wife, without a doubt. That's one that I think, you know, you gotta come up with something better than, like, I won't do it again. You gotta come up with something like, I'm gonna fundamentally change the idiocy that exists, you know, deep within my psyche. And let's assume that we made it through that. I would never recover. Every YouTube video until the end of time would just be like, I mean, he made some mistakes in this video, but at least he didn't, you know, take his toddler into the elephant pen at the San Diego Zoo. I don't know if I would be able to... I don't know if I could take the PR hit. You know what would be more annoying is that there would be like 5% of the audience would be like, he was in the right to take his kid into the zoo. Come on! Or not into the zoo, but into the elephant pen. He was just trying to get a good photo. Oh, getting a good photo is something that we're gonna make fun of now? Well, I guess put everybody on Earth in prison then. I have to be like, no, you don't understand. I shouldn't have put the toddler in the elephant pen. You know, I did... Anyway. It's just, I think especially, like, when you're younger, you watch that, you go like, I mean, that guy's a fool, right? What is he thinking? When you're older and you have kids of your own, you're like, this guy is actually, like, the worst parent of all time. How do you, at what point do you know, like when I change the baby's diaper, I have like awful, like, let's not call them daydreams, but like daymares, you know? Where I just imagine the baby like rolling off of the changing pad and like hitting her head on the corner of the dresser and stuff like that, and then, you know, that's the kind of stuff that makes you be careful. And then you got, I guess some people out there though are just like, ah, you know what? Let's just sneak into the elevator, or the elephant pen briefly. Oh, don't worry so much. We'll be out in a second. Really makes you think, man. I also, and this is rude. Like, what I'm about to say is outwardly offensive, and I apologize, but it did cross my mind. It's gotta be very embarrassing for the mother as well, right? Because, like, anytime... okay, here's... You're gonna make me go down this road in specifics, okay. Anytime you... If you have a child with somebody, or like you're married, anytime one partner does something that is like that unbelievably dense, the other partner has the implication that's like, yes, despite their poor judgment, my judgment must be equally bad because I, you know, had relations with them. Man, I get that, you know, that's... What I just said was not polite, but I was like, I was not embarrassed for the father. I was like, you know, the father, I was just mad at. But the mother, I was like, oh man, that's gotta suck. That, like, and she's like, I'm glad my kid's safe, but now, like, you know, a billion people know that I, you know, slept with the dumbest person on planet Earth. Maybe that doesn't enter into your mindset at that point, but... I'm not saying it would be high on the list, but I'm just saying, like, maybe when they think back, like, years later, they'll be like, yeah, that was, like, the low point in my life, is when everybody knew that I slept with the dumbest man in history. Screw you, NL, he was just trying to get a good photo for his kid, dude. Oh, I guess making memories is illegal now. Anyway, thanks for... Hey, I paid for my zoo ticket. I could do what I want. For now, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the episode. If you did, click the like button. Helps out a great deal. Of course, subscribe if you want to see more in the future. And follow me, twitch.tv/Northernlion. I'm live every day but Saturday, especially with Repentance coming out. You want to see a more rapid release of Repentance? Follow me on Twitch, and I'll see you there. Now, when I say rapid release, I don't mean it'll be out faster. I just mean we're making more over there than is going to make it to YouTube quickly. Anyway, hiccups.